Chosen one, listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you is not just another message, it is a divine summons. If you are here, it is not by accident. Something deep inside you has been stirring, an unshakable feeling that your life is shifting, that you are being pulled towards something greater. You feel it, don't you? That quiet yet undeniable voice telling you that the time has come. You are standing at the threshold of a test unlike any you have ever faced. This is not a test of money, status, or worldly success. No, this is far greater. This is a test of your soul, your faith, your strength, and your readiness to step into the destiny that God has prepared for you. The world around you will not see it. They will not understand why you feel restless, why you sense that something beyond the physical realm is calling you higher. They will question you, doubt you, try to pull you back into a life of complacency. But hear me now, this test is not for them. It is for you. Heaven is watching. The gates of divine blessings are about to open, but only for those who endure, for those who refuse to bow to fear, for those who hold on to faith when everything around them tries to shake it. If you pass, your life will transform in ways you never imagined. You will unlock blessings beyond your understanding. You will walk in power, clarity, abundance, and divine wisdom. But if you fail, the doors will close. You will remain trapped in cycles of struggle, confusion, and spiritual darkness, forever searching for something that was meant to be yours but was lost because you hesitated. So I ask you, will you rise or will you fall? Will you step forward in faith or will you allow fear and doubt to keep you from everything God has for you? The choice is in your hands. This is your moment of decision. Before we go deeper, take action right now. If you feel this message in your spirit, do not ignore it. Like this video as a declaration that you are ready to pass God's test. Subscribe to stay connected with the chosen ones, because what is coming next will take you deeper into your destiny. And if you know this message is for you, if you feel the fire within you right now, comment 99 as a sign that you are ready to embrace your divine transformation. The heavens are waiting. The test has already begun. Let's go. The divine test is not just another trial, it is the moment that will define everything. This is the test that separates the weak from the strong, the faithful from the doubtful, the chosen from the ordinary. If you are feeling restless, if you have sensed that something in your life is shifting, if you have faced challenges that seem impossible to overcome, then know this, you are in the middle of the divine test right now. This is not about money, fame, or earthly success. It is about your faith, your resilience, and your willingness to trust in God even when everything around you is falling apart. How strong is your faith when things don't go your way? How deep is your trust in God when the path ahead is dark and uncertain? When you pray and the answer doesn't come immediately, do you still believe? When the world turns against you, when you feel abandoned, when you are exhausted and tempted to give up, do you still stand firm? The divine test will push you to your limits. It will strip away every illusion, every false sense of security, every crutch you've been relying on. It will force you to confront your fears, your doubts, your weaknesses. And in that moment, you will have only one choice, to break or to rise. Do you feel like you are going through a storm right now? Like every door is closing, like every battle is harder than the last. That is not a coincidence. God is testing you. He is refining you, strengthening you, preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. But here's the truth, not everyone will pass this test. Many will fall. Many will turn back. Many will give in to fear and let go of their destiny. But not you. You are here for a reason. You were chosen for a reason. This test is not meant to break you, it is meant to awaken you. Let me ask you, have you ever gone through something so painful that you questioned if God was even listening? Have you ever felt like the world was against you, like no one understood your struggles, like you were fighting a battle you couldn't win? You are not alone. Every chosen one has faced this moment. But the difference between those who pass and those who fail is this: the ones who pass do not quit. They do not let fear win. They do not let pain define them. They rise, no matter how many times they have fallen. If you have ever been through a test like this, I want you to share your story in the comments. Tell us, what was the hardest test of faith you ever faced? How did you overcome it? Your testimony could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep going. And if you are in the middle of a test right now, I want you to type, "I will pass this test," as a declaration of faith. Speak it into existence. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are not strong enough. You are stronger than you know. The rewards of passing this test are beyond imagination. Those who endure will walk in supernatural favor, divine abundance, and spiritual clarity. They will be entrusted with wisdom, power, and blessings that others will never understand. But the cost of failure is high. Those who turn back will remain trapped in cycles of struggle, lost in confusion, unable to reach the destiny that was meant for them. Do not let that be your story. Are you ready to pass the divine test? Are you ready to prove that your faith is unshakable? If you know in your spirit that you are being tested, if you feel the fire in your soul right now, declare it. Type 999 in the comments and let heaven hear you. If you are ready to walk through this test and come out victorious, share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Encourage them, lift them up, remind them that they are not alone. Because this test is not just about you, it is about all the chosen ones rising together. This is your moment. The heavens are watching. Will you pass? Have you ever wished you could turn back time? Have you ever looked in the mirror and seen exhaustion, stress, and the weight of years etched on your face? Have you ever longed for the energy, strength, and vitality you once had? What if I told you that God's chosen ones are not bound by time, that those who pass His divine test will receive a supernatural renewal, an eternal youth that defies human limitations? This is not just a dream. It is a promise. The body may age, but the spirit, when aligned with God, is capable of something extraordinary. When you step into divine favor, you do not just survive, you thrive. Your strength is renewed, your energy restored, and your presence carries an unexplainable radiance. Have you ever met someone whose spirit felt timeless, whose energy was unshaken by the years, whose very presence seemed to glow with an unearthly light? That is the mark of a soul that has passed God's test. But how do you receive this supernatural renewal? How do you step into this eternal youth? The answer is simple: faith, obedience, transformation. This reward is not given to those who live for themselves, who seek only worldly pleasures, who cling to their limitations. It is reserved for those who surrender fully to God's divine plan. Those who trust Him without fear, who embrace the trials, who refuse to be defined by the past. Let me ask you, do you feel tired? Not just physically, but deep in your spirit. Do you feel like life has drained the joy, the passion, the energy out of you? Have you been through battles that left you weary, wondering if you will ever feel whole again? If that is you, type "Renew me, Lord" in the comments. Declare it now. Speak it into existence. Because what is coming next for you is not just restoration, it is a complete transformation. When God renews you, you will feel it in every part of your being. Your mind will be sharper, your spirit will be stronger, your body will move with energy that defies explanation. You will no longer feel the weight of years holding you back. Instead, you will rise with the strength of a warrior, the clarity of a prophet, and the fire of a soul that is truly alive. The world will look at you and wonder, what is your secret? But you will know the truth. It is not a secret. It is a divine reward. Have you ever experienced a moment when you felt renewed, when you felt like God Himself breathed new life into you? Share your story in the comments. Tell us how God has revived you in the past. Your testimony could be the encouragement someone else needs to believe that this promise is real. And if you are ready to step into this supernatural renewal, if you are ready to walk in eternal youth, divine energy, and limitless vitality, type "I receive it" in the comments. Say it out loud. Let heaven hear you. Because this is not just a wish, this is your inheritance. You were not meant to fade. You were not meant to weaken with time. You were meant to rise, to shine, to carry the fire of God within you. And that fire never burns out. This is your promise. This is your destiny. Will you claim it? What does it take to be chosen? What does it take to stand before the throne of God and hear Him say, "Well done, my faithful servant"? Is it wealth? Is it power? Is it recognition from the world? No. The standards of God are not the standards of men. While the world measures success in money, status, and influence, God looks deeper. He searches the hearts, the faith, the endurance of those who walk His path. But let me ask you, do you truly know if you are walking in alignment with His will? Do you ever feel like you are doing everything right, yet still feel unseen, unheard, or unrecognized by God? Have you ever wondered, what else do I need to do? What am I missing? Here is the truth: God is not looking for perfection, He is looking for faithfulness. He is not impressed by titles or achievements, He is moved by obedience. The chosen ones are not the richest, the most famous, or the most powerful in the eyes of the world. They are the ones who remain steadfast in the fire, the ones who choose faith over fear, the ones who surrender completely to His divine plan. So I ask you, what is your heart holding on to that is keeping you from being fully recognized by God? Are you clinging to fear instead of faith? Are you still trying to control your own destiny instead of surrendering to His plan? Are you struggling to let go of past wounds, resentment, or doubt? Comment "I surrender" below if you are ready to release everything that is holding you back. The ones God recognizes are the ones who refuse to bow to fear. They stand firm when the enemy attacks. They do not waver in their faith, even when they do not see immediate answers. They obey even when they do not understand. They trust even when the path is unclear. And when they fall, they do not stay down, they rise again. Have you ever been in a season where your faith was tested? Where everything around you seemed to be falling apart, but something inside of you refused to let go of God? Share your story in the comments. Your testimony of endurance could be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. God does not choose those who seek comfort, He chooses those who are willing to walk into the fire and come out refined. Are you willing to be tested? Are you willing to be shaped, molded, and transformed? Type "I am ready" if you are prepared to endure whatever it takes to step into your divine calling. There will be moments where it feels like God is silent. Moments where you wonder if He even sees you. But do not mistake silence for absence. Sometimes, God is watching to see if you will keep walking even when you cannot hear His voice. Will you keep trusting? Will you keep believing? Or will you turn back? The ones who are truly recognized by God are those who never stop walking, never stop believing, never stop surrendering. If that is you, if you are ready to align with the divine requirements, declare it now. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments. Lord, I am ready. I surrender. I trust you completely. This is your test. This is your moment. Will you be found worthy? What happens if you fail the test? What happens if you turn away at the moment of breakthrough? Let me ask you, do you think blessings are guaranteed, no matter what? Do you believe that just because something was meant for you, you will receive it no matter how you live, how you respond, or how you obey? That is a lie. Blessings are not automatic. They are conditional. They are given to those who endure, who remain faithful, who prove themselves ready to receive. And just as blessings can be given, they can also be taken away. If you turn back, if you let fear stop you, if you refuse to trust God, you will lose what was meant for you. Have you ever felt like you were on the edge of something great, but then everything fell apart? Have you ever wondered, did I miss my blessing? Did I let fear rob me of what God had for me? If you have ever experienced this, share your story in the comments. Someone else might be going through the same battle, and your testimony could be the warning they need to wake up before it's too late. God is patient, but His timing does not wait for hesitation. When He calls you to move, you must move. When He calls you to trust, you must trust. If you delay, the door will close. This is why so many people live in frustration, always feeling like something is missing, like they are stuck in the same cycles, like they are reaching for something that never comes. Because they let their blessing slip away. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of failing? Are you afraid of losing people? Are you afraid of stepping into something bigger than yourself? If fear has been holding you back, type "No more fear" in the comments right now. Declare that you will not let hesitation steal what God has for you. Here is the truth: if you fail this test, you will not just lose a single blessing, you will lose a lifetime of divine favor. You will walk through life struggling for things that were meant to come easily. You will search for purpose and never find it. You will feel an emptiness that no amount of money, success, or worldly validation can fill. Because once you have tasted the calling of God, nothing else will satisfy you. But listen to me, it is not too late. If you are still breathing, God is still giving you a chance. Do not waste it. If you are in the middle of a test right now, if you feel like you are on the verge of either breaking down or breaking through, type "I will pass this test" in the comments. Speak it over your life. Let heaven hear you. God does not reward the hesitant. He rewards the bold. He rewards the faithful. He rewards those who say yes even when they are afraid. Will that be you? Or will you let your blessing pass you by? This is your moment. Do not let this warning be your reality. Rise. Trust. Move. The blessings are waiting. Will you claim them, or will you let them slip away? Are you ready for what's coming? Do you truly understand what it takes to pass God's test? Many believe they are prepared, but when the trial arrives, they crumble. Many say they have faith, but when they are placed in the fire, they break. Let me ask you, when life hits you the hardest, when the world turns against you, when God is silent, will you still stand? Make no mistake, this test is not easy. It will push you to your limits. It will shake your foundation. It will strip away everything false until only the real you remains. But here's the truth: God never gives a test without first giving the tools to overcome it. You have everything you need, but only if you use it. So how do you prepare? How do you make sure that when the time comes, you will not fall, but rise? First, strengthen your faith. This test will not be about what you know, what you have, or how many prayers you say. It will be about whether you truly trust God when everything is on the line. Can you still believe when there is no evidence? Can you still hold on when the answers don't come? If your faith is weak, you will fail. Be honest with yourself. Do you struggle with doubt? Have you ever felt like giving up because God seemed silent? If you have ever battled with doubt, share your experience in the comments. Someone else might need to hear your story. Second, let go of fear. Fear is the weapon of the enemy, and it will be used against you. Fear of failure. Fear of suffering. Fear of losing control. Fear of the unknown. If fear controls you, you cannot pass this test. The chosen ones are warriors, and warriors do not run from battle. They stand. What has fear stopped you from doing? Have you ever hesitated on something you knew God was calling you to? If you are ready to break free from fear, type "No more fear" in the comments. Declare it. Own it. Walk in it. Third, surrender completely. This is not a test you can pass on your own strength. You must let go of your own plans and allow God to lead. The ones who fail are the ones who try to control everything, who refuse to let go, who hold on to their pride, their comfort, their logic. But God is not testing your ability, He is testing your obedience. Will you follow when you don't understand? Will you obey when it makes no sense? Ask yourself, What are you still holding on to? What part of your life have you not surrendered? If you are ready to fully trust God, type "I surrender" in the comments. Let this be your moment of release. Fourth, embrace the trials. Stop running from hardship. Stop praying for an easy path. Your greatest strength is built in the struggle. Every painful moment, every disappointment, every rejection is preparing you. The enemy wants you to believe that your trials mean God has abandoned you. That is a lie. Your trials are proof that you are being shaped for something greater. Think back, what was the hardest trial you ever went through? Did it break you, or did it make you stronger? Share your testimony in the comments. Your story could help someone else keep fighting. Finally, stay connected to the right people. Isolation is dangerous. The enemy loves to attack when you are alone. Surround yourself with those who will strengthen you, who will remind you who you are when you forget. If you walk this path alone, it will be much harder. Find your spiritual family. Stay connected. Keep growing. Are you ready? Are you truly prepared to step into the test that will define your destiny? If you are, type "I am ready" in the comments. Speak it boldly. Let the spiritual realm hear you. The time is now. The test has already begun. Will you pass? What if I told you that God does not want you to struggle? What if I told you that wealth is not evil, but a tool for His chosen ones to fulfill their divine mission? Too many people have been taught to believe that poverty is holiness, that suffering is the only path to righteousness. But that is a lie. The truth is, God's kingdom is abundant, overflowing with riches, and He has prepared supernatural provision for those who are faithful. But here is the real question: are you ready to receive it? Because not everyone is. Wealth is not just given, it is entrusted. God does not pour blessings into the hands of those who will waste them, misuse them, or let greed consume them. He blesses those who know how to handle divine wealth with wisdom, purpose, and obedience. So, let me ask you, if God were to bless you with financial abundance right now, what would you do with it? Would you use it to uplift others, to fund His kingdom, to break generational curses? Or would you let it consume you, turning it into an idol instead of a tool? Be honest. Type your answer in the comments. Let this be a moment of reflection. The chosen ones are not meant to scrape by. They are meant to rule, to reign, to walk in divine favor. When you are aligned with God's will, provision follows you. Doors open, resources flow, unexpected opportunities arise, not because you are chasing money, but because money is chasing you. Have you ever experienced a moment when God provided for you in a way you never expected? Maybe a bill was paid just in time. Maybe a door opened when you had no options left. Share your testimony in the comments. Your story could inspire someone who is on the edge of giving up. But here's the warning: wealth without spiritual foundation is a curse, not a blessing. How many people have gained riches only to lose their souls? How many have traded purpose for profit, only to realize too late that money cannot fill the emptiness inside? Divine wealth is different. It does not come with sorrow, fear, or anxiety. It does not control you, you control it. It is given to those who will use it to serve, to uplift, to break chains, and to advance God's kingdom. So, I ask you again, are you truly ready? If you know in your heart that you are prepared to handle God's blessings with wisdom and purpose, type "I am ready for divine wealth" in the comments. Declare it. Own it. Step into it. Because the time is coming when the wealth of the world will be transferred to those who are chosen. Will you be among them? Or will you watch from the sidelines, wondering why the blessings never reached you? This is not just about money. This is about supernatural provision, about walking in abundance in every area of life. Wealth of the Spirit. Wealth of wisdom. Wealth of opportunity. Everything you need to fulfill your destiny will be given to you, if you are ready to receive it. So tell me, are you ready? What if I told you that there is one blessing greater than wealth, greater than power, greater than any earthly success? What if I told you that the most precious gift God can give you is not something you can see, touch, or measure, but something that transforms your very soul? That blessing is unconditional love. But let me ask you, have you truly experienced this kind of love? Have you ever felt a love so deep, so pure, so unshakable that nothing could separate you from it? A love that does not fade when you make mistakes, that does not disappear when you feel unworthy, that does not demand perfection but instead embraces you exactly as you are. That is the love of God. And if you have ever felt distant from it, if you have ever doubted whether you are truly loved, hear this now: God's love for you is eternal, unwavering, and limitless. But here's the truth: not everyone accepts this love. Many people believe in God, but they do not truly believe that He loves them without condition. They carry shame, guilt, and the wounds of the past, thinking that they must earn His love, that they must be perfect to deserve it. But God's love is not something you qualify for. It is something you are given, freely, because you are His. Have you ever struggled to believe that God loves you completely? Have you ever felt like your mistakes disqualified you? If you have, share your experience in the comments. You are not alone. Someone else needs to hear your story. God's unconditional love is not just a feeling, it is a force that changes everything. It heals. It restores. It breaks chains. It transforms even the hardest hearts, the most broken souls, the most shattered lives. Have you ever seen someone who carried the weight of rejection, who believed they were unworthy, who walked through life empty, only to be completely changed when they finally understood the love of God? Maybe that person was you. Tell me, have you ever felt the power of God's love move through your life? Has it ever saved you, lifted you up, carried you when you had nothing left? If you have experienced this love in any way, comment, "God's love changed me." Let the world see what He has done in your life. But here is the warning: if you do not accept this love, you will always feel like something is missing. You will chase validation from others. You will seek fulfillment in money, relationships, achievements, but nothing will ever be enough. Because the only thing that can truly satisfy your soul is the love of the one who created you. What are you still holding on to that is keeping you from receiving His love fully? Is it shame? Fear? A past mistake? If you are ready to let go, type, "I accept God's love," in the comments. Make this your moment of surrender. Because once you accept this love, truly accept it, everything changes. You will no longer live in fear, because you will know that you are never alone. You will no longer feel unworthy, because you will know that you are precious in His eyes. You will no longer walk in brokenness, because His love will make you whole. This is the greatest blessing of all. And it is yours, right now, if you will receive it. So tell me, are you ready to walk in the fullness of God's love? Are you ready to live with the peace, the confidence, the joy that comes from knowing you are completely, eternally, and unconditionally loved? If you are, declare it now. Let heaven hear you. Type, "I am loved," and step into the blessing that has been waiting for you all along. What if I told you that you don't need a priest, a pastor, or a prophet to hear from God? What if I told you that God Himself wants to speak directly to you, to reveal mysteries, to show you visions, to give you divine knowledge about the future? This is not a fantasy. This is the supernatural power of prophecy, and it is one of the greatest gifts God gives to His chosen ones. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like God was trying to tell you something? Have you ever had a dream that felt too real to ignore? A sudden knowing in your spirit that turned out to be true? A voice in your soul guiding you when no one else could? That was not a coincidence. That was God speaking to you. But here's the truth: not everyone has ears to hear. Many people are spiritually deaf, disconnected from divine communication, unable to recognize when God is sending them a message. Why? Because they are too distracted, too doubtful, too caught up in the noise of the world to hear His voice. But you, If you are truly chosen, you are being called to something greater. Do you want to hear God more clearly? Do you want to receive divine messages, prophetic visions, spiritual revelations? If your answer is yes, type, "I am ready to hear God," in the comments. Declare it boldly, because what you speak in faith becomes your reality. The power of prophecy is not just about predicting the future, it is about understanding the hidden truths of God's plan. Those who walk in this power are never blind, never lost, never confused. They see beyond what others see. They know what others do not know. They walk in divine wisdom that the world cannot comprehend. Have you ever had a moment when you felt something deep inside you, and later, it came true? Have you ever sensed something before it happened, received a warning in your spirit, or felt a strong pull toward a certain decision? That was the prophetic gift stirring inside you. If you've experienced this, share your testimony in the comments. Let others see how God is already working in your life. But here is the warning: if you ignore this gift, if you do not train your spirit to recognize God's voice, you will remain spiritually blind. You will walk through life guessing, hoping, making decisions without divine insight. You will struggle where you were meant to thrive, because you will not see what was meant to be revealed. Do you want to sharpen your ability to hear from God? Then you must prepare. Spend time in silence, away from distractions. Meditate on His Word. Pray with expectation, not just with routine. Be still and listen. Because God is speaking, you just have to be ready to receive. Are you ready for this level of supernatural connection? If you are, type, "I am ready to receive prophecy," in the comments. Speak it. Claim it. Let heaven hear you. God is calling His chosen ones to rise, to awaken their spiritual gifts, to walk in divine power. Will you answer the call? Will you step into the prophetic? Will you open your ears to hear His voice? This is your moment. Do not miss it. Have you ever felt like you are carrying the weight of your past, like no matter how hard you try, something is holding you back? Have you ever wished you could start over, not just physically, but deep in your soul? What if I told you that true transformation is not only possible, but that God is calling you into it right now? This is not just about self-improvement. This is not about fixing one or two things in your life. This is about total rebirth. When God transforms you, you do not remain the same. The old version of you, the one bound by fear, regret, shame, and sin, is erased. And in its place, a new creation is born. But here's the question: are you ready to let go of your old self? Because true rebirth requires surrender. You cannot hold on to the past and step into your future at the same time. You must be willing to die to your old ways, your old mindset, your old limitations. So I ask you, what are you still holding on to? Is it fear? Is it resentment? Is it a past mistake that you cannot seem to forget? If you are ready to release it, type, "I let go," in the comments. Speak it into existence. Let heaven see your decision. Rebirth is not easy. The process of transformation will shake you. It will break you before it rebuilds you. There will be moments when it feels like everything is falling apart. But listen carefully, that is not destruction. That is reconstruction. God is tearing down everything that no longer serves you so that He can build you into something greater. Have you ever been through a moment in life that felt like the end, only to realize later that it was a new beginning? Have you ever faced a trial so painful, only to emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with God's plan? If you have ever experienced this, share your testimony in the comments. Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. But here is the warning: if you resist this transformation, you will remain stuck. You will keep repeating the same cycles. You will keep feeling lost, disconnected, and unfulfilled. Because the life you are trying to hold on to is already over. The question is, will you step into the new one that God is offering? If you are ready to be reborn, to rise into the person God has created you to be, type, "I am ready for transformation," in the comments. Make it known. Declare it boldly. Let the spiritual realm hear you. This is your moment. Your old self is fading. Your new self is awakening. The past no longer defines you. God is calling you to be reborn. Will you answer? This is it. You have been called, you have been tested, and now the choice is yours. Will you step into your divine calling, or will you let fear hold you back? Will you claim the blessings that have been prepared for you, or will you stay stuck in hesitation? God is not looking for the half-committed, the doubtful, the ones who wait for the perfect moment. He is calling the bold, the fearless, the chosen ones who are ready to rise. If you have felt something shift inside you during this message, if your spirit has been stirred, if your heart is racing, if you know deep down that this word was meant for you, then do not ignore it. This is your confirmation. God is speaking to you right now. Tell me, what was the part of this message that hit you the hardest? Was it the call to pass God's test? The promise of divine wealth? The power of prophecy? The supernatural rebirth? Share your answer in the comments. Your testimony will strengthen someone else who is on the verge of their breakthrough. And if you are ready, truly ready, to step into your calling, to claim the blessings meant for you, to walk in the power and purpose that God has prepared, then type, "I am chosen," in the comments. Declare it. Own it. Let the world see it. But don't stop there. This message is not just for you. There is someone in your life, someone close to you, who needs to hear this word. Someone who is lost, who is struggling, who is waiting for a sign from God. Be that sign. Share this message with them. Do not keep this truth to yourself. And if you are hungry for more divine revelations, if you want to go deeper, to continue growing, to receive more wisdom and guidance, then subscribe to our YouTube channel, God's Chosen Path. This is not just a channel, it is a movement. A gathering of the chosen ones, a community of warriors rising together. If you believe you are part of this calling, subscribe now. Turn on notifications. Stay connected. Every message is a step toward your breakthrough. Are you ready to step into your destiny? Are you ready to be counted among the chosen? Then act. Declare it. Share it. Subscribe. Engage. Move. Because the time is now, and your destiny is waiting.